Today we're going to be working on this feeder closure. It's going to be a 400D FOSC. We've got 272 cables, 72F cables. They're going to be loose tube. They come directly out of the bottom of the FDH, in which one cable will be all these ports and the other cable will split between those top ports. And that's what's going to be running the actual light from the connecting offices all the way down to this network to power it up. So this is our cable that is running to the CO, in which it's going to run all the way down there back to a nice connecting office building, in which we're going to go ahead and splice the whole run. It's going to take about 5 different splice locations, and we'll go ahead and document them all for you guys. So you'll see a little series over this next week of all 5 of these builds. But yeah, let's get right to it. Show you guys how to do it. All right, so now that we have our cables all strung out, we can go ahead and start comming up these cables, get them all taped together in the correct order. And yeah, we'll get it in the trailer here and we'll get right to it. See you in a sec. All right, we got the cables all commoned up now. Cut the length, and go ahead and sauce them in the trailer, start stripping them. All right, now that we got the cables in the trailer, we've got our location written out. We have a 144 as our feed coming from the connecting office, and then we have our 2 cables, which are 72F cables, coming out of the FDH like I showed in the previous clip, in which these cables were not tagged. So the only way to actually figure out which cable is what is you go ahead and we'll throw a ruby on the FDH, and we'll go ahead and go do that right now. All right, we've got our ruby plugged into the feed side. We'll turn the ruby on. Go ahead and go take a look at our cable. Let's see which one's glowing. So we'll give it a little look here. It should be glowing red, and there we go. Don't mind the dirty hands. That happens every time you common up cables. The joys. So now we know this is our feed. Go ahead and grab that cable, come down to the end, and throw the feed tag on it. And there you go. That's how you determine the 272s. Now we can go ahead and ensure we're going to be splicing everything correctly, and we'll get to the stripping. See you in the next clip. All right, so we have 2 types of cable here. To the left there, that's the 144 loose tube. Okay, and these other 272s are actually ribbon cables. If you get right in there, you can see there's a set of ribbons in there. Be 6 ribbons total. So it's going to be 2 different ways of stripping these cables, but they're basically the same. If you want to learn how to strip cables, you can go back and watch one of my other videos. I have plenty on stripping and building a case. So I'm just going to throw this whole stripping of the cables in a time lapse so we can get more towards the actual entering of these cables, because we will be entering these cables inside of this 400D closure, in which it's a heat shrink closure. So we'll have to be using the old heat shrink here and get that all melted down, make sure everything seals properly. So yeah, stay tuned to see how you enter cables into a 400 case on a feeder network. All right, so since we have 3 cables, we can fit 2 in these ports and 1 in this port. So we're gonna have to cut these little end caps off. I like to use my hook blade. Some guys have other methods. It's up to you, your choice. I find this the easiest. So sit down and we start on the inside. Get that first initial blade in. Once it's in, you can leverage. Okay. Take your time. Get around it. Once again, be careful. You have a sharp tool that you're working with. So usually once I get to there, you come back to this side and go ahead and work your way around. Till you get it all the way off, like so. One. I'll go ahead and work at the next one. Get the tip in. Go ahead and post your little comments in the comment section about just the tip. So. Open again, back to this side, work it off, easy peasy. Now you can go ahead and get your sandpaper out and get those nice and sanded up. We'll get right to that in a second here. now we have that all sanded up. That'll ensure that when we go ahead and heat this heat shrink down with our cables in there, the glue that's going to adhere to all of our cables and our port here will actually stick, because if you leave it smooth here, it's not a rough surface for the glue to adhere to. So you'll end up with a leaky FOSC. So don't forget to sandpaper that, rough it up a bit. All right, these are our heat shrinks. You can see this is a single, this is for 2 cables. You see the arrow. All right, you get the hint. So we're gonna do our feed and our actual feed from the CO in one port. So slide those on. There's our other one. For the bypass, we'll go on a single port. Slide that one on as well. Once those are on, you can start working at setting your cables through the case. Let's go through it a bit longer. Ribbon, you always strip 8 feet. Loose tube, you strip 5 feet. There. Now that we've got them through the back ports, we're gonna have to switch over to the front, get them secured down, then we can get back here, start sanding these cables, get the proper measurements for our heat shrinks, get this dialed in, and then start heat shrinking these down. All right, so we got some strength numbers here that we need to get these cables secured down with. So I'm going to loosen that spot up. So I have to go pretty loose with this. We're going to try and fit both these in here. It's not going to be easy because they're 2 different sizes, but it's definitely possible. Loosen it up a little bit more. Okay. Try this again. nice and tight. Then we'll come through with any of the excess, like so. Alright. Well, this is going to be fun. We have our tube to the top. A little mistake there. We have to go like this, loosen this right up. We got that out. Get that pop through. These can go back in. Nice and tight. Now we have that sorted. Nice and free. That can run down. Get rid of that. Alright. Now we just need to secure our other cable. Like so. Same process for this side. Cut off your excess. Watch out for these metal strength members. They shoot pretty violently. Alright, so now that we have that all secured in there, we can go ahead and start working at getting our cables prepped for the heat shrinks. So, get you guys set up right here. Sorry for the shakiness. Let's go. Alright, so automatically you can go like that. It's up to you. You want to make a little mark on there, or like so. And then that's where it's ending. You use the marker, you're just going to end up sanding it right off anyways, so don't recommend it, but there's a mark for your visual. Alright, fresh sandpaper. right. Like that. Make another mark so we know exactly what we're going at. I can use the marker since it's not getting sanded anymore. Like that. Now we go ahead, get our tin out. I guess they're not cutting it for us no more. That's what it is. This is to help protect the cable. I always put the blue line right at the mark. She doesn't want to cooperate today. All right, as you can see, there's a little trick for you. These are looking a bit crinkly and whatnot. Go ahead and grab your Sharpie, marker, whatever you got, something round. You can just run it over it. That'll help smooth out any of the crinkles. Maybe we'll name this one the trick of the day. Huh? Let me know if you guys think it's the trick of the day in the comments. All right, getting close and close. So now we can take that, go ahead, squeeze these two cables apart. That nice and secured on. Ready to start shrinking. All right, let me get set up for that, and I'll show you guys how we get that done. All right. So I like to use a torch. Some guys like to use heat guns. You can use either or. I find the torch is more accurate. What we're looking to do is heat these down from front to the back. Now these little green dots will disappear as we heat this up properly, but yeah, you just got to get right to it. We'll start with the big one. Take your time, work your way all the way around, and just keep heating it up consistently. Don't let the flame sit on one spot too long so you can burn right through these. and actually wreck them. They have to restart and most likely put a zipper on. You don't want to have to do that. So take your time. So that's the first heat shrink all done up. As you can see, the majority of the green dots are now gone. We got glue oozing out the back. Should be a nice tight seal. Another little trick is to go ahead and attach a tie strap right there to really get it nice and tight. So we're gonna go ahead and start on that next one. I'll throw it on time lapse so you don't have to sit there and watch me heat shrink this. But yeah, if you have any questions, just hit me in the comments. All right, well, there we go. We got both heat shrinks completely done. Looking good. Heat it right up. Now we can go ahead and finish entering these cables into the case, get these spliced, and our feed to the FDH will be complete. I want to say thanks for watching. Go ahead and click the like button if you enjoyed this. Comment any questions you have, and go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching. Until next time.